since I became aware of as far back as March. So I do believe that China was planning to use this virus to wage some kind of war on the people. However, the outbreak occurred in China, and that's why I say they shot themselves in the foot. I don't think they were actually planning to do that. So I just wanted to add that.
Back to do. There's a thing that when you do a bioweapon, and when you release a bioweapon, they consider you a terrorist. That's right. So George Soros has investments in Baxter Inc. International Inc. The same Baxter that released that bioweapon in 2000 and in 2010, which also was called like MERS and SARS. Why is this so important? Because in 2009 and 2010, it was a trial run. Two things they did not have at that time. That's called the Pandemic Emergency Financial Fund, the PEF. So that's what Baxter's came about. And what's under the PEF? Under the PEF, you got the financial bond and you got the insurance bond. I've been saying it for a while. The financial bonds releases $1.8 billion. And the insurance bond is the more people die, the more the insurance bond matures. And it matures into X amount of people die, and they decide to cash it in. That's why they call the Emergency Pandemic Financial Fund, and they broke it out into two categories. Remember, the financial bond, the only way to pay out is 8 countries in 12 consecutive weeks have to have a pandemic. In addition to that, they have to have X amount of people dying. So to consider, so you had to break it down into two. One, we need money right now. The other one, we will cash in the future on how many people we think died. So that's where the insurance bond, it matures on the death. Now, that's where Baxter International comes in. So Baxter International is directly tied to George Soros and the 2009-2010 pandemic. Now, regarding that, also, if you have health insurance, the Health Management Association, Inc., is also directly and indirectly tied to George Soros. What I'm saying is a fact. Anybody wants to contest that, from MSNBC, CNN, CBS, Fox News, anyone, bring it. Also, LifePoint Hospital, Inc. He also has financial investments directly into them and indirectly. Lincare Holding Inc., that's LINCARE Holding Inc. also has financial investments in that. I already said Merck Incorporated, in which George Soros also has financial investment, and also another corporation called Merge Healthcare Incorporated. He also has financial investments in that. So look at all the financial investments George Soros has between the pharmaceutical corporations, also in bed with Melinda and Bill Gates Foundation, with the Clinton Foundation, with the Clinton Global Initiative, with Frank Giestra or Giestra Foundation, Mark Zuckerberg's Foundation. Look at all these foundations; they're all directly and indirectly tied. Why is this so important? You're like, lads, now you call yourself a conspiracy theorist. Well, by all means, I just say let's have. If you're going to call me that, then let's have a public debate so I can bring all my documents and I can prove it to you on national live TV and have George Soros, have Mother Zucker, have Ted Turner, have Melinda and Bill Gates Foundation, have the Clinton Global Initiative, have the Clinton Foundation, have Hillary and Bill Clinton there, have all these criminals there, Anthony Fauci, Deborah Briggs, all these criminals, James Cahoon, Charles Lieber, because we're going to get into Charles Lieber. So now on February 25th, there was a meeting. And what happened in this meeting? Well, WUXI AppTech let science lead a special online forum on the coronavirus, 18 speakers, to discuss the challenges seen in the global management of the COVID-19. diagnose the therapeutic inventions, vaccine developments, global preparedness were discussed in conjunction. Remember, all this is a coronavirus. So, lads, how is still this? Well, let me go back. In April 6th of 2020, Andrew Dunn wrote an article. Business Insider, right here. Business Insider, right here. So what did he write? Oh, well, in Business Insider, remember these names because these names are going to come back all the way to 2000. So you have to be very, very, pay attention to this. So here we go. Dunn wrote, the experimental vaccine was developed by NVO Pharmaceutical, an effort to have received funding from the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation in coalition with Pandemic Preparedness Innovation. That's the insider right here. That's what they wrote. And if those that can't see it, I'll write it upside down. Now, Anthony Fauci, remember Anthony Fauci, right? Anthony Fauci was who was he in bed with? Let me see. Let me bring that picture out. Let me see where he at. Anthony Fauci, this guy right here. This guy right here next to Donald J. Trump and Deborah Bricks. This is his name. So Anthony Fauci, the longtime leader of National Institute of Health Infectious and Disease Unit, has repeatedly said it will take at least a year to know if the vaccine is safe and effective against the virus, meaning the coronavirus. So yet all of a sudden now they have a vaccination, but yet now now it appears that he's contradicting himself. Not the 1 year, but less than 1 year. Actually, it's 2 months. So let me stay right there. Now, lads, how is that still applies to what you're saying? Well, published on November 9th, 2015. A SARS-like cluster of circulating bat coronaviruses show from human emergence right here. This is where it comes into play. Because remember, now we're going from 2020, 2015. The emergence of severe acute respiratory syndrome, the coronavirus, and Middle East respiratory underscores the threat of cross-species transmission events leading to outbreaks. Here we examine the disease potential of the SARS-like virus, which currently circulates bat population. We generate and character the chemical virus express a spike of bat coronavirus, and in mouse adapted the coronavirus backbone. And then it goes on. But this is intriguing. This is where I want to go, because at the end of the day, this is what I'm not going to read everything and recite everything, because I need to bring it to you up front. So this is right here on page 10 of 18. As you can see, this is right here. I'm going to read that right to you. What this basically states. Mice that lost 30% of the starving body weight was immediately sacrificed as per protocol. Any mouse deemed like or unlikely to recover was also humanely sacrificed at a discretion of the researcher. Euthanasia was using an overdose, and death was confirmed by cervical discoloration. All mouse studies were at the University of North Carolina. Animal Welfare Assurance number A3410-01, using protocol approval by the Institute Animal Care and Use Committee, which is IACUC. Why is this so important? Remember, we're going to go back to North Carolina, because North Carolina plays a huge role. With who? With this guy, James Cahoon. And who does James Cahoon in bed with? That's right, you guys, Charles Lieber. But we're going to stay there with Charles Cahoon right now. Let me add this. Report studies were initiated after the University of North Carolina Institute Biosafety Committee and experimental protocol. The generating infectious clones of the bat SARS-like coronavirus. Lab safety 20145741. Schedule G as in golf. ID 12279. These studies were initiated before the U.S. government deliberated. Researchers funding pause on selected gain-of-function research involving influenza, MERS, and SARS. The paper has been received by the agency, the NIH. Continuation of the studies was requested, and this has been approved by the NIH. So, the SARS, the coronavirus, is a select agent. All work for the study were performed, and approval studies operating and safety condition for SARS and MERS. Our institution, coronavirus, have been designed to conform in the safety requirement are recommended by the biosafety and biochemical laboratories, the United States Department of Health and Human Services, and the Public Center of the Center for Disease Control, which is the CDC, and the NIH. The laboratory safety plan was submitted to then approved for the use by the University of North Carolina Department of Environmental Health and Safety, which is the EHS, and the CDC card access to require for entry into the facility. Our workers have been trained by the EHS, which is the Environmental Health and Safety, to safely use and purify respiratory in appropriate work habits in a PLS-3 facility, and activated medical surveillance. So this is it. This is one of them. So remember when I talk about SARS, because we're going to go back. We're going to work our way back. This is now. We're going to work back on the Journal of Physical Chemistry letter right here. This is a journal chemistry letter. Why is this so important? Remember what I told you about James Cahoon? James Cahoon is well in bed with who? Charles Lieberman. And who is Charles Lieberman? Charles Lieberman was a man that was arrested by the Department of Justice in regards to transferring the coronavirus to Wuhan. And why would you not be surprised if is WUXI Tech is not part of this coronavirus that was stolen to that laboratory? So if I was to tell you to the American people or to our 45th president, how did the coronavirus get there? Well, why don't we ask Charles Lieber, and Charles Lieber and his two co-conspirators that are tied to the Melinda and Bill Gates Foundation. Now, why is this so important? The horizontal silicone nanowire with radio PN conjunction, a platform for non-conventional solar cells. Well, here you go. This is James Cahoon. James Cahoon's name is in there. If you can't see it, then I'm going to turn it upside down and maybe you guys can see it. So that is James Cahoon's name in that right there in this article. So again, the article is the Journal of Physical Chemistry letter. Why is this so important? Because even though I highlighted a lot of the stuff here, basically at the end of the day, what does this pertain to, Lazaro? Well, this is all pertains to, you see this little thing? This is called what's going to call it an RFID chip. What is an RFID chip? It's a digital chip. Well, what is a digital chip? It's something they're going to put in the vaccination, and also they're going to implant in somewhere either in your hand or on your forearm, and that's what they do is basically your digital currency, or also be known as your digital for your health, your history of your health. So that's what they're going to use, or also for digital currency. So this is what they're building and creating. This is why James Comey and Robert Lieber, they had to create, well, George Soros and Melinda Gates Foundation and Zuckerberg. See, they got to create something so they can benefit from it. So it's like playing devil's advocate. It's like a good cop, bad cop. Here, I'm going to create this, but then I'm going to come back and be the hero. So, and this is the fall, and the fall guy is going to be Charles Lieber. He's going to be the scapegoat. He's going to be the patsy. So let me go to Charles Lieber's work. Oh, before I do that, you see right here, if you don't believe in what they were working on, I highly recommend for you to read this. And I'm going to read just a little bit of it because, I'm no nerd, but damn it. Optical absorption characterized of individual. Who's an individual? Could it be me? Could it be you?